Hello, in this presentation, we're going to talk about what it means to do intercultural communication criticism. So, communication criticism is when a communication critic makes an argument that describes, interprets, or evaluates the messages to which people are exposed to in public or collective ways. This notion of public or collective is important because we need to be able to say that for something to be worthy of criticism, it has to be sent out to a large enough audience. Now, this isn't journalistic description, meaning we don't just say, this is what happened, that we actually make an interpretation or an evaluation. And in doing that, what we're doing is we're making what we call texts from works. We'll talk about that in a minute. So the critical method will influence the textualization of a work. So when I make a text from a work, I engage the work. So a work could be an article, could be a movie, could be a interview, whatever the case is. It's an existing example of communication. When we analyze it, when we engage it, we make texts. So the critical method influences what we do in that process of textualization, which is making a text from a work. So how do we do that? Well, so a work is, as I said, is an existing artifact of communications. A speech, a movie, newspaper article, discussion, document, picture, recording of a debate, a interview done on television, whatever the case might be. It's anything out there that we can say is an artifact of communication that was delivered to a broad audience. And so a text is an engagement with that work or artifact. So criticism, which we would call textualization, which is making a text from a work, is employing an analytical lens to make an argument regarding that work. And the analytical lens we use is going to be based on knowledge that we have so that we're able to make good claims and support. Now, intercultural communication criticism, in doing that and using an analytical tool, we'll talk about how we get there in a moment so that it becomes intercultural communication criticism. So obviously a work, any existing item of communication which one can identify a power imbalance between two or more cultures, right? So we wouldn't be doing intercultural communication criticism unless we're able to see some sense of a power imbalance there, right? We can say, hey, look, this is a good item of communication which can show us that power imbalance. Communication criticism is the discussion of the manner by which communication establishes and or maintains that power balance. How does communication actually play a part here? It's not just that there is a power balance, but in fact, communication is an active process in maintaining, establishing, developing, however we want to talk about it with regards to that power imbalance. So there's a couple different things that we focus on to a large extent whenever we're talking about communication criticism. One is ideology, which is any set of ideas or beliefs and beliefs reflecting the needs and aspirations of individuals, groups, classes, or cultures that form the basis for political, economic, and other systems. Ideology isn't just kind of what I believe, but what a larger cultural system is structured under so that we can, and it becomes kind of the way we just think within that specific culture. And then hegemony, it operates when the goals, ideas, and interests, right, the ideologies of a certain ruling group or class are so thoroughly normalized, institutionalized, and accepted that people consent to their own domination, subordination, and exploitation. So one of the big points of hegemony that we could say in the American business world right now is that people are just lucky to have a job because it's so hard out there. But the reality is that stock values are higher than they've ever been in the history of mankind, that profits are up to a large extent, that production is up to a large extent, that business continues to grow and the economy continues to grow in our culture. And then, in fact, it actually should be a worker-dominated market as opposed to an employer-dominated market. But we've just come to believe that so much, and obviously it serves the purposes of the corporate interest to make everybody think that we're just lucky to have a job. So what do we do for analysis? Well, first we find an artifact, obviously. You find something where you go, hey, look, I can identify some kind of cultural imbalance here. Identify what is important or interesting about that artifact with respect to intercultural power imbalance. What is interesting about that specific thing that leads us to have this understanding that where we can see that power imbalance in action? Then identify the specific features of the work you can use to support your argument, right? So your argument is a thesis, but we want to be able to find support in there. We want to be able to find things where we can make an argument for our thesis. And then interpretation and / evaluation. Interpretation involves making an argument about the text by using specific context from the text as support for your argument, which was what I just said. What things can you use to support your argument? And critical cultural evaluation involves making a reasonable argument regarding some power imbalance grounded in those critical concepts. Now, we see plenty of critical concepts in the area in Chapter 1, and this really comes into that group of different ways we approach thinking about intercultural communication in the areas of cultural studies and globalization. So go back and look at those parts in Chapter 1 that talk about globalization and cultural studies, and that helps you kind of get a sense of how people doing this kind of criticism work function and what they think and how they talk about intercultural issues. Now, as far as what tools of analysis we're going to use, well, the entire course is a whole set of tools of analysis for critiquing intercultural communication. So everything you have up to this point in the course gives us let's say, a language or a vocabulary to be able to do this type of interpretation. So as you go forward, remember, you're thinking about being able to say, hey, look, I can see examples of this power imbalance and how it's functioning and how communication is involved in creating and establishing those points of power imbalance. We don't expect you're going to be great critics at this point, but as you practice this across a number of different courses, we expect that you will become a little bit more familiar with the process of doing communication criticism, which was one of the methods for engaging in communication inquiry. Thank you, and have a great day.